Hello, my name is Joe, and this is the third video in the vlog um, entry series to my experiences with mental health problems. In the last video, we discussed, you know, the benefits of trying to find a balance in your mindset and in your emotions and actions. We said how, obviously your mind and your body rationally want to achieve happiness and positivity. I guess that's the end goal, but when you are experiencing anxiety or depression, sometimes, really trying to push yourself, encourage yourself to hit a place of positivity and happiness straight away is often counterproductive because it creates tension and stress and frustration. So, yeah, last week, in the last episode, as I said, speaking about balance, I think that's a really good sort of like ethos to take when watching any of these videos or when searching out any sort of advice on anxiety, mental health, depression. So, moving from balance, this video is going to be uh, three small achievable activities and pastimes that I did when I was at my worst that worked um, very well in stabilizing me and moving me towards that balanced stage. Um, the first thing, well, first of all, I just very briefly tell you about how I was and what I was experiencing when I was at my worst. So I um, I began experiencing anxiety and low mood basically overnight. I didn't know what had caused it. There was no direct event or happening in my life that had produced this reaction. So I had a generalized anxiety disorder, but it happened overnight, and within 24 hours, 48 hours, I'd lost my appetite. I felt like my body was made of lead, and I couldn't move or walk around or talk without it being uncomfortable. It's not so much a pain, like a physical pain, but it's a total, all over comprehensive discomfort. Um, I There's a creative piece that I wrote last summer when I was at my worst, or just actually managing to overcome my worst, which I think there was a line in it that I wrote which said, it was the first line, which said, "The fear of going to bed or going to sleep is matched only by the fear of staying awake." And I've always thought that when looking back on the periods when I'm most anxious, where you there is nothing you can do to bring you respite or calm or comfort, and there is fear in everything you do. When I lost my appetite, I wouldn't want to eat big meals because I think, oh, this is going to overwork my body to digest this, and that's going to mean I'm going to feel worse. And or if I'd go to sleep, I think, am I going to bed too early? Am I going to wake up in the night and feel, have absolute like panic attacks? And so all of these things, your life has gone from clockwork basically, living every day normally, doing things habitually like eating, going to sleep, and to scrutinizing, overanalyzing, and worrying about everything. So yeah, I struggled getting to sleep. I wouldn't want to go out the house. I wouldn't want to eat. I There was a time when I went into a room in my house where there was music being played, and I had to ask my parents to turn it down. I know, right? Me asking my parents to turn music down yeah, it's just something else. But yeah, everything that you would normally do habitually just becomes a real chore and a real effort. So the three things that I did to award myself respite and to move me towards that position of balance, first and foremost, was I used to run every day. I used to run locally about 2 to 3 kilometers every evening, um, and the benefits of that are obvious, but also perhaps not so obvious. So when you experience anxiety and depression, your brain is flooding your body with certain chemicals that, you know, are very normal and common chemicals, but are not being produced or circulated around your body in a very, like a normal, stable manner. Um, so when you exercise, you are producing positive chemicals like endorphins, and your body is then pumping around, beneficial and positively stimulating chemicals around your body, and it gets your heart going naturally. It it's just an extremely healthy and positive way to channel the non-self-serving chemicals into a positive and healthy thing. So from the chemical scientific level, I mean, that's just a very, very basic, overview of it. I mean, if anyone's interested, I'm sure I could research into it and find out some more specific and comprehensive information. But exercising, doing 2 hours a week, that stimulates your heart and your lungs and your bloodstream positively. It creates positive chemicals such as endorphins, and it can help to channel and get, just channel a lot of those negative and not very nice chemicals and sensations and thoughts and feelings into a positive activity. So it can be anything. It can be running, cycling, walking, dancing, anything, exercise related. Um, the less obvious things, which are things that I found, is that when you get into something like running for 20 minutes a day, that is something in your daily routine that you can do and that will give you respite. I call it non a non-thought activity. So when you're running, if you listen to music, which I do, um, you're focusing on the music. You're focusing on the physical aspect of running. You're focusing on where you're going. You're focusing on the scenes around you, and it's a very good opportunity to you know distract your mind from the overthinking and the worrying thoughts. Now, distraction is a coping mechanism. It's not. I don't think it's the best way of coping with your anxiety, because ultimately the best way is to learn how to live with your anxious thoughts and therefore diminish them, rather than just distracting yourself so that you come back to them eventually. But it's a really good way to award you that respite. I found that it was the highlight of my day for about a month. I'd think, yes, it's getting to the evening where the days the temperature's a bit cooler, so I can go out and run, and I'll just put my music in. And it was a time where I enjoyed music. As I said, I hated. It was really uncomfortable to listen to music or watch TV or anything, but running afforded me an enjoyment that I hadn't had for a number of weeks. So running, exercise benefits, and it awards you some structure to your routine. It offers you an out where you don't have to sit around thinking over your worries or anxieties. The second thing that I found offered me um, steps towards being, finding balance and gaining my usual thoughts and feelings and actions back was, and I spoke briefly on this in, I believe, either the first video or the second video, and it's creating a structured bedtime routine. I was the worst. I used to eat food in my bed. I used to watch TV, Netflix. I used to play video games in bed. I used to call people on the phone. And I used to, sit and lounge around in bed during the day as well. But what I found was that if you create the same routine every night and every morning, you frame the day, you end it in a calm and controlled way, and you start it in the same manner. So, what I would recommend is when you go to bed, change out of your normal clothes into, just lounge clothes. be that a t-shirt and tracksuits or whatever, and you would get certain things ready for the next day. So get your clothes ready and folded. Maybe tidy up a little bit in your room, and then make a drink that you like, cup of tea, water, whatever. And I would recommend looking into very basic yoga. So you do some yoga just to, stretch out your muscles after a long day. Then to read, and even if it's 10, 15 minutes, even if it's a chapter of your book, whatever, to sit in a chair in your room and read. And then when you're feeling tired, perhaps do some meditation, or just some, deep breathing, some mindfulness before you go to bed. And you can pick and choose. You can just choose. I really like reading, so I'm just going to do that for half an hour before I go to bed. And then straight before you're going to bed, I recommend changing out of your lounge clothes and into nighttime clothes like pajamas, a set, clothes that you wear when you go to sleep. Because then after a few days or a few weeks, when you put those clothes on and you go to bed, your mind will remember and will think, okay, now, they're getting changed out of their lounge clothes into their sleeping clothes. And it's small things like that, just making a routine so that when you do it consistently, your mind and your body will think, he's going through the motions. He's physically winding down with yoga. He's mentally winding down with reading and meditation, and behaviorally, he's doing a certain thing. He's having a drink. He's cleaning his teeth, and then, you're getting changed into your bedtime clothes. That was another really, really positive thing, and the thing that brought me balance. And a final thing that helped me a lot was taking up a new skill. When you are anxious and depressed and you are drawn away from your normal life and you don't find pleasure in doing things you like or normally would do, I think if you make some effort to try something new, it not only stimulates your brain and your actions, but it also will stimulate different aspects to your life. So when I was anxious a few months ago, I thought, I'm terrible at drawing, and in fact, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to put on some, relaxing music that I like, and I'm going to just read a couple of drawing books and look up some tutorial videos and give it a go. And I mean, the activity of drawing anyway is very calming because you're focused on something, but you're not exerting lots of energy, and your thought is concentrating directly on the item you're drawing or whatever. And that really helped because I thought, I can practice this. I can see my progress. It's a tangible thing. I'm doing something. I'm not just sat around worrying or feeling anxious. So yeah, for the final thing, try out a new skill, whether it's knitting, drawing, singing, any small task that is achievable, that you can do in the comfort of your home or your room, and it will it's not going to change your world. It's not going to cure you or anything, but regular gentle exercise, structured, consistent bedtime and morning routine, and trying out new achievable skills or activities. So please feel free to contact me or ask questions on this subject. I mean, they are just three of the first primary things that popped into my head when I was thinking about what helped me when I was at my worst. But there are many, many things that I can offer advice on in relation to helping and offering respite. But yeah, those three things, I hope that's given people some ideas. Even if you don't experience anxiety, depression, or whatever, I really encourage, things like finding the best bedtime routine that works for you, and finding some gentle exercise routines that also help, because they will stand you in good stead whatever your health situation is. So yeah, once again, I hope this helps. Please be interactive, talk to one another, contact me, ask questions, make suggestions for future videos, and once again, yeah, thank you very, very much for your time. Thank you.